Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, JC Courtside, coming at y'all today on Monday, June 29th. Welcome back, everybody. I hope everybody had a phenomenal weekend. Good morning. We got a lot to talk about. This offseason has been such a great start. So I don't want to waste any of your guys' time. Podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. TikTok, YouTube, be sure to drop a like, follow, subscribe. And Twitch chat, all you guys, you guys know you have the easiest job in the whole entire world. Just sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, an energy drink, and enjoy the show. Guys, today we are talking about the trade between the Phoenix Suns and the Charlotte Hornets. We're going to break it down. I'm going to grade them for each team. And we have a lot more to talk about. More trades between the Pistons and Thunder. A couple extensions for some basketball teams around. One actually just got extended about 15 minutes before we started today's stream. And then, yeah, we got some stuff we got to talk about. And then a potential trade that we're hearing about Kawhi Leonard, which if Shams is posting about, do not take that with a grain of salt, because I think it low-key might happen, all right, involving Kawhi Leonard. Guys, let's get started. Let us get started. We're going to talk about the trade that everybody seems to be talking about right now. Miles Bridges being traded to Phoenix for an interesting package. All right. So the Charlotte Hornets, and I need you guys to listen up, and I'll even show you the Shams tweet so you can follow along. The Charlotte Hornets traded, this is yesterday, or was this? Yeah, this is yesterday. The Charlotte Hornets are trading Miles Bridges, a 2029 first round pick, and a 2027 second round pick to the Phoenix Suns for Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, and a 2033 first round pick. So let's go ahead and talk about this. What side do you guys want to hear first? The Hornets side or the Phoenix Suns side? Because I assure you, the Phoenix Suns side is much more interesting to talk about. You know what? I'm not even going to ask y'all. I just want to start with the Phoenix Suns, okay? Let's start with the Phoenix Suns. You guys know how I said I'm going to be grading these? I'm going to be grading these trades, and I'm going to give the grade for each team, all right? So let's talk about the Phoenix Suns. First and foremost, let's forget talent here. Let's forget what you're getting back. Let's forget what you're getting in return. Let's just talk about purely who you traded for. You guys understand, I've talked very extensively about guys like this, right? And guys like this, I will never say anything positive about. Ever. I don't care if he drops 83 points. I don't care about how good of a basketball player he is. I don't care. He's garbage. He's literally less than garbage. Anybody that lays their hand on women, especially anybody, they're not going to get any time of day from me. Okay. It's not alleged. He pled guilty. Okay. Miles Bridges is a horrible person, and I will never say anything good about this man. All right. And it sickens me that the NBA allows him to continue playing for the league. Now let's talk about the trade itself and what they got back. Miles Bridges had a very interesting year, and they sold high on him. They sold high on him just like they sold high on LaMelo. And I can talk about that some more. I would like this trade more for the Hornets if they still had LaMelo, right? Which we're figuring out how that's playing out, especially with all of the Charlotte Hornets' picks that we'll talk about later. TikTok is actually telling me, no, he's a good person. And then another guy said, SYBAU, goofy. So guys, apparently I'm goofy in that I should shut up because I don't defend women beaters. TikTok, keep being exactly like yourself. Because speaking of waste of space, you guys are just like him, man. You guys are just like him. Somebody in the TikTok said, this is foul. You don't know him personally. Let him move on. I don't know him personally. You are absolutely correct. And that's what makes this even worse. He is a loser. He pled guilty to beating his significant other up. I'm not going to dive deeper into that subject. Miles Bridges is a loser. A bona fide loser. He's a loser in the NBA. And guess what? He's a loser in real life as well. So now let's switch the topic. Let's talk about him as a basketball player. Now, he just played his best year of his career. And to be honest, it really does fit with the Phoenix Suns and what they need. TikTok said, look in the mirror. Yes, because I did what Miles Bridges did. Yes, you're right. You are right. And of course, TikTok is getting, they're reporting me right now for bullying and harassment. All right, TikTok. Listen, y'all, I'm ending that stream. You guys want some entertainment? Come to the Twitch. Fuck all of y'all. And yeah, come to the Twitch if you guys want to stream. He pled guilty. He's a loser. You're all losers in the TikTok. Come to the Twitch. Jay-Z Uncut. So I'm getting banned on TikTok, by the way, for insulting a wife beater. That was like the quickest I've ever been spam reported on TikTok ever. People defend wife beaters. Guilty wife beaters as well. So this trade, Miles Bridges obviously just had his best start of his year. He just had the best year of his career as well. He averaged 17 points, less than 6 rebounds, 3 assists, half a steal, half a block, 46% from the field, and 33% from 3. So he's a below mediocre 3-point shooter. Now, Miles Bridges also shot 57% true shooting. And overall, if you guys have watched Miles Bridges play basketball, you'll understand exactly what I'm about to say. His work ethic is his biggest issue. The biggest issue about Miles Bridges is his work ethic. He's not a good defender. He's a below average shooter. And he doesn't have the drive. He also hasn't played in the playoffs in his career. He's never played in the playoffs. So can his play style be good for the playoffs? You don't know that. Can LaMelo's play style be good for the playoffs? No, not yet. He hasn't shown us that. So I'm asking you, Phoenix Suns fans, why did Matt Ishbia organize this trade and get Miles Bridges to come to Phoenix? There's one reason. It's because he went to MSU. That's it. He went to Michigan State and he traded for him. And that's why he got him. Judah, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you. I appreciate you very much. Thank you for the follow. Be sure to join the Discord. That's the only reason why he traded for Miles Bridges. That's it. Now, I'll be honest with everybody here. 29 other teams are not trading for Miles Bridges. They're not. Nobody wants this. And I just talked about him as a player, right? Now, just to touch back on him being as a person, why would you want that on your team? You just brought in a guy that doesn't do anything that your team, coached by Jordan, did last year at a high rate. That's why Grayson Allen was perfect for that team. That's why Royce O'Neal was perfect for that team. You just traded for a guy that does not fit the play style of that team. And then on top of that, you brought in a guy that could affect the entire atmosphere of that locker room. But he went to Michigan State. And this is why I don't like this trade. And on top of that, hell, I can make this trade even worse. Oh, looks like we just got a report that James Harden is declining his $42.3 million player option for the season. And the sides are working through a new multi-year deal together. We all knew that this would happen. Could you guys imagine extending James Harden until he's 40? Could you guys imagine that? So they're going to work around a deal with James Harden. That should be interesting. I wouldn't want to be a Cavs fan right about now if you're extending James Harden, which sounds like you are. We just got that report. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. We knew this would happen. In case you guys don't know about James Harden, before he forces his trades with every team he's been on, he makes sure that the team that he's being traded to will be guaranteed to extend him. So that's part of this trade. This is a part of that trade. So he already talked to Cleveland. He knew he was getting extended. Yeah, we knew all of that. Okay. Powton, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate it very, very much. It's because I don't like the TikTok chat. This is my chat. This is my community. You should stick around here and join the Discord as well. If you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I'll gift you a sub so you stay here. So, yeah, shout out to James Harden. We all knew that would happen. But yeah, anyways, with Miles Bridges, right? James Harden will probably get extended either today or tomorrow. It depends what deal they're working out. So Miles Bridges, again, does not fit their play style, right? And yet you brought him in anyway. Now, I am not going to sit here and doubt the Suns. Mind you, last year I picked the over on their over-under. I picked the over. So I wasn't like that down on the Suns like everybody else was. I expected them to be decent. I didn't expect them to be that good, but I expected them to be decent. So to see how they did last year wasn't really that much of a surprise. But now you bring in Miles Bridges. And on top of that, what you gave up is absolutely disgusting as well. The Phoenix Suns only own one first-round pick over the next 7 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the Phoenix Suns, before this trade, were $5 million below the second apron. After this trade, they're $11 million below the second apron. I need you to hear me. This team is absolutely mediocre. The definition of mediocre. The definition of mediocre, average. And in fact, I'm going so far as to say they're probably going to be below mediocre next year because they're not going to be surprising teams the way they surprised them last year. What you guys need to understand is their only first round pick that they own is frozen because of the second apron. So why did the Phoenix Suns do this? It's because Matt Ishbia just wants to sell tickets. That's all. That's the only reason. Matt Ishbia just wants to sell tickets and get asses in those seats. That's it. This was not a basketball play. He went to Michigan State. So he brought him in because he went to Michigan State too. That is the only reason why Miles Bridges is on this basketball team. Because it gets even worse. Miles Bridges is on a contract year. He is due for a contract extension. So why did you make this trade? You traded Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal, who loved who loved Phoenix. They got a second round pick. So fucking what? You traded. It doesn't make any sense. They technically don't own any of their first round picks over the next 7 years. You are stuck in absolute mediocrity and you keep burying yourselves to go even more mediocre. Somebody in the TikTok said they're going into rebuild mode. How? What are you rebuilding with? You don't own any picks. You don't have any picks. How are you going to rebuild? No, what you're going to do is you're going to just hope to make the play-in again and again and again. That's your goal. They just want to remain in the play-in, and that's all. That's all. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I want you guys to see the difference in the chats between the TikTok and the Twitch, okay? Twitch said, what rebuild? Twitch said, rebuilding with hopes and dreams. Twitch said, more like a free fall. They mortgaged their future in the KD and Beal trades. And now I want to read you some of the TikTok messages, okay? They're going into rebuild for sure. Miles Bridges is better than Grayson Allen. These are all the TikToks. You've never touched the ball a day in your life. Please be quiet, bruh. These are all the TikTok messages, by the way. I just want to show you the lack of brain power that they have compared to the Twitch stream. Go speak on soccer, buddy. That's the TikTok chat, guys. Those guys watch the TikTok stream for an hour a day. And that is how they interact with the stream. So TikTok, if there are anybody that actually has brain cells, talks basketball, watches basketball, be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch, okay? Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. I'm 6'4". I am a hooper. I've never played soccer in my life. Am I in the NBA? No, I'm not. And it doesn't matter about my level of basketball. I'm 6'4". I should be in the NBA if I was really good at basketball. You're probably right. I'm just good enough to play pickup ball. You're right. So, yeah. I don't know how that has anything to do with my ball knowledge. Doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know what that has to do with my ball knowledge, but I'm definitely a hooper. And I can speak on ball because I know ball. I know balls very, very well. So I appreciate everybody in the TikTok. I would appreciate you guys much, much more if you left the TikTok and came through to the Twitch stream, because I am done reading the TikTok messages. If you guys want to interact with me, just come through to the Twitch, JZ Uncut on Twitch. Okay, so let's talk about the rest of this package. Miles Bridges, a 2029 first round pick and a 2027 second round pick to the Suns. Now, the Suns just traded Grayson Allen, who I do specifically want to talk about because a lot of you guys might not know, but he attempted 9.5 threes a game this year. 9.5 threes a game. Now, he did have injuries. He only played 51 out of the 82 games, but he shot 35% on 9.5 attempts from three. That is a lot of threes. And honestly, on 35% on 9.5 threes, I'm taking that every day of the week. I am. I'm taking that every day of the week. So, you also traded Royce O'Neal, who was honestly a fan favorite. You traded him too. Grayson Allen, and I'll talk more about him when we talk about the Hornets. He was their entire identity over there for the Suns. Spam threes and get steals. I want you guys to understand, Miles Bridges does not play defense. He doesn't. He does not play defense. I just got a ridiculous question that I have to answer. Marcus said, serious question. How the fuck do you get half of a three? Oh boy, let me explain. One night, you'll shoot 8 threes. The next night, you'll shoot 9 threes. The average of 8 threes and 9 threes is 8.5 threes. Holy shit, Marcus. That is such a TikTok message. I never thought I'd see a type of question like that in my day of covering the NBA, bro. I can't lie, Marcus. You gotta time yourself out for the next 5 minutes, bro. You gotta time yourself out for the next 5 minutes, bro. That's insane. I did not think he said it was a genuine question too. Oh God, Marcus, I'm sorry, bro. That is yikes. Okay, let's continue talking. Let's continue talking about this. So the Suns, guys, all in all, they don't own any of their picks over the next 7 years. They have zero picks over the next 7 years. Technically, they have one, but it's frozen because of the second apron. All right. So if I were to grade this for the Phoenix Suns, I'm giving this. Now, mind you, I don't want to judge the Phoenix Suns too early, but I'm giving this an F. I'm giving this trade an F. I haven't given any trades an F yet in the offseason. I don't remember the last trade I gave an F. But I'm giving this trade an F. This is the first F I've ever given as far as a trade goes since I've been covering the NBA. This is an F. This is an F. You traded for a guy that has no motor. No motor at all. If you guys watched Miles Bridges and didn't look at his box score, you guys would know exactly what I'm talking about. My Hornets fans are in here. You guys know what I'm talking about when I talk about Miles Bridges. He's got no engine. He doesn't make any effort on the defensive end. Doesn't make any effort doing anything that's physical, playing basketball whatsoever. And you know why it's even more of an F? Because you are so hell-bent on being mediocre. It makes me sick. It makes me sick that you are so hell-bent at being mid. It's not that the Suns are a horrible team. The Suns genuinely have no future on their basketball squad. They have zero future whatsoever. Unless they plan on trading Jalen Green, this is an F. I love this comment from another Hornets fan. Hornets fan here, so damn glad to see him gone. He can't shoot threes either. No, he can't. He can't at all. This is the worst trade of the offseason by far. It's all empty stats. It does not contribute to winning. His only defensive play ever in his entire tenure with the Hornets was the block that he got in the play-in game against the Heat. That's it. I feel bad for Devin Booker, but guess what? I don't. Not really. He signed to be there. He knew the direction of this franchise. So no, you know what? I don't feel bad for Devin Booker. I don't feel bad for him. He got his money. That's what he wanted. He knew the direction of this team. And I said this last week. I said this the week before. I said this 3 months ago. And my boy Ka in the Twitch stream, shout out to you because you heard me as a Suns fan. I said this for the last 6 months. There's only one team in the NBA that I believe right now is in a worse position than the Sacramento Kings. You know the biggest joke of a franchise in the NBA right now? It's the Phoenix Suns. It's the Phoenix Suns. They are paying Bradley Beal until 2031. Let me repeat myself. They are paying Bradley Beal, who's not even on the team, until 2031. They have access to no first-round picks. They got 0. And then you know what the worst part about this trade? The worst part about this trade. And TikTok said they made the playoffs, by the way. Oh, yeah? What'd they do in the playoffs? They're happy with being a play-in team, buddy. A play-in team. Mid. With the worst spot to be in the NBA. Mid. They own no picks. They got a worse player who can't shoot threes, which is their whole identity. And then the worst part about all of this, you brought a man who puts his hands on women. The worst part about all of this. And guess what? You still have Jalen Green on your team, and you're still paying Bradley Beal until 2031. This is not an alleged wife beater. This is a wife beater, and I'm not going to call him names because the TikTok keeps reporting me. TikTok actually said she deserves it. TikTok said that she deserves it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to look at yourselves in the mirror. If you are watching in the TikTok, I'm grouping you up with that guy right there. So if you guys don't want to associate yourselves with that, it's time to come to the Twitch stream. In fact, if you guys watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will personally gift you a $6 subscription over here, so you never have to go back to the TikTok ever again, and that you'll get an ad-free viewing experience over here in the Twitch. Somebody in the TikTok said, what about Kobe? I don't fuck with Kobe either. Cool basketball player, but I don't fuck with him. Rest in peace, but I don't fuck with him. And I've told you guys this plenty of times. If you watch 3 Twitch streams, in a row, I will gift you a $6 subscription so you come to the Twitch. It's crazy, bro. TikTok is saying that Miles Bridges' wife deserves it. You know, he also did that in front of their kids. I'd like to remind y'all, he did that in front of their kids. On the court, he's a bad basketball player. He's mid. And off the court, he's a horrible piece of shit. He is. I absolutely agree, Cookies. Shout out to you for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream, bro. We're going to appreciate you being here, man. We're gonna appreciate you coming through to the Twitch, bro. Be sure to join the Discord as well, homie. So that's the Phoenix Suns side. I'm ranking it an F. An F. The Suns, yeah, they tanked. This is a horrible trade. His attitude outside off the court just ruins the locker room. No defense. Doesn't really want to play with effort. Can't shoot and has no bag. I don't like Bridges at all. I'm glad you agree, Mason. I'm glad you agree. Rock, thank you for the follow on Twitch as well. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, TikTok said that his wife deserved it. So yep. So yeah, this is an F. Here's the thing. The Phoenix Suns, they're gonna regress this year. I just want you to understand. If this is the roster that they're rolling into, they're gonna regress. Colin Gillespie's not gonna catch anybody by surprise anymore. Devin Booker forgot how to shoot. Miles Bridges is on the team now. Mark Williams is probably not going to be as healthy. They're not going to surprise teams anymore. And you guys got to understand, most of their success from last year came because they surprised teams. They're probably going to regress. Now, I'm not going to doubt Jordan Ott. He's a really good head coach. But what I am going to doubt is the identity of this team. There is none. There is none. Grayson Allen was attempting 9.5 threes a night. 9.5 threes a night. Their defense just got worse. Just got worse. By the way, TikTok is telling me I don't know ball. You guys know whenever I spit, TikTok, if as long as TikTok is telling me that I don't know ball, it means I just said the smartest thing of the day. So shout out to me, bro. Every time TikTok says I don't know ball, they're always horribly wrong. Let's go ahead and look at the Charlotte Hornets side. We lasted way too long on that. The projected starting 5 for the Charlotte Hornets moves me, bro. It's Kobe White, Con Knipple, Brandon Miller, Naz Reid, and Moussa Diabate. Now, I want to talk about this team itself as a whole, right? The Charlotte Hornets got better. They got better from this trade. They got Grayson Allen, who was attempting 9 threes a game last year, okay? That fits their mold to a T. The Charlotte Hornets offense last year was jacking them up over and over and over again. Now, if the Hornets don't get better this year, and I've said this before, I don't love the LaMelo trade. I know they needed to trade LaMelo because they needed to sell high. I just don't really love what they got for him. But if you guys watched the Charlotte Hornets at all last year, even you casuals who barely watched the Charlotte Hornets, you would know that their entire play scheme, their entire play style was spamming threes and playing fast. And the one guy they lost that pulls up for three, they replaced with Kobe White. So with all due respect, the playmaking is going to be worse. But what I believe is I think next year they're going to regress. And they're going to regress for two reasons. Okay? They're going to regress because their team is not as good as it was last year. And two, they're not going to be catching teams by surprise anymore. It's sort of just like the Phoenix Suns. Next year, the Hornets aren't going to strive to be better. The Hornets are going to try to be exactly where they're at. They just want to make sure that they don't regress, that Con Knippel can improve. What's his name? Brandon Miller can also continue to improve. You can get healthy seasons from all of your starters. This Hornets team is going to be incredibly mid. Incredibly mid. But the point being is the amount of draft picks that they have now, I don't know if you guys have paid any attention, which I know TikTok hasn't because they're all dumb as fuck over there. Twitch chat, I know you guys have been paying attention. I don't know if you guys have how many draft picks they truly have now, but it's actually disgusting. Okay, so for next year, they got 2 first-round picks. They got the Heat. They got their own. I'm sorry, they also got the Mavericks. So they have 3 first-round picks next year, and then in 2028 they got 1 first-round pick. 2029 they got 2 first-round picks. 2030 they got 1. 2031 they got 1. 2032 they got 1, and 2033 they got 2. So the amount of first round picks that they have, it's the most from any team in the East in the entire NBA. They have the most first round picks over any team in the NBA. So you guys are probably thinking, what do they need those picks for? They don't need these young guys. They don't need that. And that's true. But what they can use these picks for is a trade. They can use this for a trade easily. So who do they want? Who do they want? TikTok thinks that I'm talking about the 9-year-old in 2023. I'm talking about who they can trade these picks for. They have 3 picks in 2033. Correct. Thank you for correcting me. Yes, they have 3 first-round picks in 2033. Listen, y'all, they can afford whoever you want. They can afford whoever you want. Ideally, I think you should go for a starting point guard now. I don't know what starting point guard you can get other than Ja Morant. I'm sorry, Hornets fans. I have a weird feeling that you guys are going for Ja Morant. I genuinely do. I have a weird feeling because I feel like you guys can sort of convince yourselves that you have enough defense to make up for him and enough three-point shooting to make up for him. I have a weird feeling that it's going to be Ja Morant. And they also, yes, thank you for reminding me, Skylar. Yes, they also have $40 million in trade exemption. They've set themselves up perfect for either a big trade or a big splash in free agency, or just, a big trade now or a big trade in the future. It could be Jaylen Brown. It could be. Who knows? Mind you, they're also going to have to match the salary. So for Jaylen Brown, you'd have to compile multiple contracts because I don't think you have that many guys making that much money. But I think adding Grayson Allen into the side, into this team, he's jacking up 9 threes a game. I think Rolls-Royce adds some defense, some grit, some rebounding, and some shooting to this team as well. I think that's great. All in all, ladies and gentlemen, I think I would have liked this trade more if they still had LaMelo. I'm going to be honest. I think I would have liked this trade. I like trading LaMelo. I just don't love what they got for him, but now it's starting to make more sense. Like the writing was in the wall that they were going to move Miles Bridges. But I think I would have liked this trade a little bit more if they still had LaMelo Ball, or at least some point guard that can shoot and facilitate. You know what I mean? But I still like this trade for them. I do. But they're going to be mid. And guess what? Being mid now is the best place you can be. Unless you're the Phoenix Suns, who don't have any picks. If you're mid now, you have better odds at getting the number 1 draft pick. If you're mid now, the best place to be is right outside of the play-in. Right outside. That is the best place to be in. Unless you're the Phoenix Suns, because they don't have any picks. I just need to remind everybody, the Hornets are good if they're mid because they have higher odds of getting good picks. The Suns are ass because they're mid because they don't have any other picks. Shout out Matt Ishbia. Yo, Rock Doc, thank you again for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you very, very much. TikTok, if you guys are enjoying today's stream, be sure to come through to the Twitch. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Overall, I love this side for the Hornets. I love this side. You just need a playmaker. You need a point guard. You need a playmaker. And I do agree, Cookies. I fully agree. And I've said it for months now that the Phoenix Suns have the worst future in the NBA. The worst. Because at least now the Kings have Darius Acuff. At least. You know, the Suns have nothing. They don't. So shout out to the Hornets. I think they're doing a really good job. And I know people are saying, you just had your best season in the last few years. Why would you blow it up and go in the opposite direction? It's obvious, and it shows that you do not watch basketball. It also shows that you don't know anything about basketball. All it shows is that you guys watched highlights and said, wow, LaMelo Ball's incredible. He's not. LaMelo Ball's game will absolutely not work in the playoffs. Will the Timberwolves be a fun team in the regular season? Absolutely. But is anybody really trusting LaMelo freaking Ball in the playoffs? Is anybody really doing that? I guarantee you Anthony Edwards will be demanding a trade next summer. Guarantee it. That's my hot take for this offseason. I guarantee you Anthony Edwards will be demanding a trade next summer. LaMelo Ball in the playoffs. Get a serious load out of that, bro. That's crazy. You sold high on both LaMelo Ball because you know he's not going to be healthy. You know he's not going to be a good playoff performer. Guys, do I need to remind y'all what LaMelo did in his 2 games that mattered most in his entire NBA career? Do I need to remind y'all? People are going to see he averaged 26.5 points. You're going to be like, oh my God, that's insane. Do you guys know what he shot? He shot 39% from the field and 20% from 3. And TikTok said, wow, horrible take. Are you out of your mind? He attempted 24 shots a game and averaged 26 points. He shot him out of the games. Am I the only one, aside from Charlotte Hornets fans, that watched the playoffs? Am I the only one? He is not a winning player. He's not. And until he proves me he is, he's not. You could not have gotten a better return from LaMelo Ball at this point. They got the best they can. He averaged 26 points on 24 shots. He shot 39% from the field and 20% from 3. Somebody in the TikTok said, not the playoffs, by the way. These are the most important 2 games of his entire NBA career, and you're not taking stock into that? Against bad teams, too? This is ridiculous. TikTok, you know what, TikTok? I'm ending that stream. Bye. We're live on Twitch. If you guys want to talk to me more, if you guys want to hang out with us, if you guys want to engage with us, come to the Twitch stream, Jay-Z Uncut. You guys are morons. If you want to talk, if anybody's smart over there, come to the Twitch, Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Holy fuck. Yo, JH, thank you for the follow on Twitch, homie. Welcome. Be sure to join the Discord as well, bro. I can't take it, bro. I can't take these brain dead idiots over there in the TikTok. Let's continue with this conversation. You know why? Sorry, I don't want to harp back on this LaMelo trade, but you know why the Timberwolves traded for him, right? It's because they saw what he did in the regular season. Skylar and all of my other Hornets fans, I want you guys to hear me well because this is for you. What LaMelo Ball did that was so good during the regular season, not just he was healthy, but he was being a playmaker first and a scorer second. He was being a playmaker first and a scorer second. And then in the play-in games, for some reason, he said, they need me now more than ever, and threw his pretend cape on and was just chucking. He was taking 24 shots a game in those 2 play-in games. He was just chucking. Why did you change your entire play scheme in the last 2 most important games of the NBA season? So Minnesota saw his playmaking. Yeah, of course, we all know Khan sold, but Khan, he's a rookie. Longest he's ever played. So what Minnesota saw was like, you know what? We liked LaMelo for the first 82 games of the season. Maybe he can keep doing that, be a playmaker first and scorer second. Maybe he won't feel the need to be a scorer first. Miles Bridges did the same exact shit too. He said, playing games, we got to carry. We have to move on. But let's go ahead and grade the Phoenix side and the Hornets side. Now, again, Phoenix, it's an F. It's the first ever F I've given since I've been covering the NBA. The Charlotte Hornets, however, if you mix this with the LaMelo trade, you got You got 2 first-round picks coming your way from both these trades total. You got Naz Reid, Grayson Allen, and Rolls Royce. I'm giving them it's either a B plus or an A minus. You know what? I'll go an A minus. It's nice to see that the owner and the GM of the Charlotte Hornets is trying right now. It's nice to see, because for a while there, they weren't doing anything in free agency. They weren't doing anything trading. They weren't doing anything. So it's very nice to see that they're actually making moves that better their team. They're better their team's future. I like it. Yeah, Michael Jordan wasn't doing anything for them. LaFlame, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you very much. I'm going to give him an A minus. A minus is my final grade for them. Now, guys, let's go to another trade. The Detroit Pistons trade 2 second-round picks to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Isaiah Joe. Who was here throughout the regular season with me? And how many of you guys have heard me always say a dream role player on the Pistons is Isaiah Joe? I said it month after month, week after week, day after day. Isaiah Joe last year averaged 11 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, almost a steal in 21 minutes. And he shot 45.5% from the field, 42.3% from 3, and 89.5% from the free throw line. I want to read you his seasons in the NBA. Came into the NBA, shot 37% from 3, then 33.3% from 3, then 41% from 3, then 41.6% from 3, 41.5% from 3, 42.5% from 3. He's a career 41% shooter from 3. Now, people want to talk about what he did in the playoffs. He only played 11 minutes per game in the playoffs because Jared McCain took his minutes. That's it. Took his minutes. So in the playoffs, he shot 35% from 3. But that was in very limited minutes. He was really only playing in 4-minute spurts. So for anybody saying, damn, Jay-Z, he had a horrible playoffs, he shot 35% from 3. Does anybody want to ask me how many Piston players shot 35% from 3 in the playoffs? Because off the dome, I'm willing to say Cade, he shot 40% from 3. Duncan probably did. That's probably it. It's probably just Cade Cunningham and Duncan Robinson. Those are the only guys that shot 35% from 3. So I think Cade and Duncan both shot 40%, by the way. I don't know. Maybe Dennis did. Maybe Sasser did in his 3 games. I don't know. So people are asking me, do you think Isaiah Joe is starting? Now, let's just think about what this turned into. No, Tobias in the first series and a half shot 18% from 3, then stepped it up for a couple games. Hold on. Shams just posted Sacramento Kings guard Zach LaVine is opting into his $49 million player option. We all saw that one coming, right? I just want to make sure we all saw that one coming, right? That's not a surprise to anybody. Do I need to talk about it? Zach LaVine, $49 million. And you know what? I made a comparison to Zach LaVine's contract, guys. Oh God, I don't want to talk about it. Static Shock, love that show. Thank you for the follow on Twitch, man. I appreciate you a lot, bro. Thank you so much, Dan, bro. Imagine being a Kings fan. So I just want to remind y'all, the Pistons turned Isaiah. Yeah, okay. So yes, I talked about Austin Reeves. Okay, fine. Do you want me to talk about it? Last week I said, when Austin Reeves, you're a Kings fan? Join our Discord. Static, please join the Discord. Please do me a huge favor and join the Discord. Bro, we got to talk to you. We need you in there. Please join the Discord. You're a Kings fan. Oh my God. Join the Discord. The link is right there in the chat. Join the Discord. Please and thank you. I need all of you guys to join the Discord, but especially you, Static Shock. Please. We need an active member in this community that's a Kings fan. Okay? Oh boy. Man, Ammo, you are late twice. So last week I said, this Austin Reeves contract reminds me of one contract in the NBA. And you guys all asked me who. And I said Zach LaVine. This really reminds me of the Zach LaVine contract, everybody. It does. It does. He's going to be making $50 million well into his 30s. Austin Reeves is not young. He's 28. He's 28. Zach LaVine just opted into his player option for $50 million. And I'm telling you, this Austin Reeves contract is going to shape up exactly like this Zach LaVine one. I guarantee you. I would like to give a shout out to Liam for gifting a sub to Static Shock, who is a Kings fan. Static Shock, if you hear me, his name, I think he just joined the Discord. His name is A Cuff Me Daddy. Static, enjoy the ad-free viewing experience for the next 30 days. I hope you become a consistent member of the community because Liam just hooked you up. And guys, be sure the rest of you join the Discord as well. So, yeah, a Pels fan is gifting a Kings fan. You know why he's doing that? It's because he feels your pain, Static. Liam is a Pelicans fan. Let's continue. Let's continue with what I was talking about. Isaiah Joe's a great pickup. The Pistons turned Isaiah Stewart and 2 second-round picks into Ubuka Okori and Isaiah Joe. You got a ball handler, or you got a shot creator in Okori, and you also got a pretty good defender, plus one of the best three-point shooting players in the entire NBA. I love this from the Pistons. And for the Thunder, I know a lot of Thunder fans very upset. And I hear you guys. We'll take good care of Isaiah Joe. He's signed for another 2 years. He's only making $11 million this year and $11 million team option next year. Isaiah Joe is going to thrive in Detroit. He's going to absolutely thrive. This is going to be Cade's best shooter he's ever played with. And I understand why the Thunder did this. They need to get rid of Kenrich Williams as well. They needed to get rid of 3 guys. Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, and Kenrich Williams. So I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Thunder. I'm very, very thankful for you guys. Isaiah Joe is going to be incredible for the Pistons. Cade Cunningham is going to make him look like an absolute god. And I hope the Pistons do not move Duncan Robinson, because there's a lot of Pistons fans out there saying, we get rid of Duncan. And I'm over here thinking, like, why can't we have more than one shooter on our team? Why? Let's have 2 shooters. Not one. Let's have 2. Static Shock said, I will be active. I'm a very active Kings fan. I love that. Please be active in the stream and in the Discord, please. So shout out to the Pistons for getting Isaiah Joe. The Pistons still have a lot of money, ladies and gentlemen. They still have a lot of money. They still have $75 million to play with this summer. Subtract Duran's possible $35 million out of there, and you still have $40 million to play with this summer. So you can bring back Tobias off the bench, go get a starting 4. They still have a lot of money, yo, but I love this for the Pistons. Isaiah Joe's exactly the kind of player they need. He's the exact player. I've been saying the Pistons need Isaiah Joe for the last year. And to see that the Pistons actually got Isaiah Joe, that makes me so happy. He's going to love playing in Detroit. He's going to love playing next to Cade, man. Because there's only one more point guard in the NBA that's got the gravity that Shea does. It's Cade. It's Cade. Those two point guards are the most doubled point guards in the entire NBA. No disrespect to Finals MVP Jalen Brunson, but when you look at players with the highest usage rates, it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and it's Cade Cunningham. So shout out to Cade, man. He's got himself a shooter. Now, those are all the trades I have to talk about. Let's go ahead and talk about the Thunder again. They decided to extend Isaiah Hartenstein, and this is something that I wanted them to do. We talked about it, and I told everybody that they need to bring iHeart back. There's no way you can see what he just did over there. There's no way you can see what he just did over there and say, no, they don't need him anymore. You do need him. In fact, after Chet shit the bed, you need Isaiah Hartenstein. And they brought him back for 3 years, $75 million. So that also plays this to a part as to why they're trading they will trade Kenrich Williams, why they traded Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe. They need They need Isaiah Hartenstein, and they might have to lose Lou Dort as well, because in case you guys don't know, they are already in the second apron. That's why they're stacking so many second-round picks, because they're not going to have access to their first-round picks if they remain in the second apron. So shout out to Sam Presti. He's doing what he can, but can we be honest, everybody? In hindsight, I think paying Chet Holmgren that much money was a mistake. In hindsight, in the moment, you're not surprised they gave him that money. But in hindsight, when your vision is 2020, after seeing what he did in the conference finals last year, it's very worrisome for Thunder fans. It's very worrisome for Thunder fans. Very worrisome. We'll see what pans out there and we'll see what happens. But it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. Now, the last topic of discussion is Kawhi returning to Toronto. Listen, Shams got on TV today and said the Clippers and the Raptors are seriously engaged in trade talks surrounding Kawhi Leonard. Now, I want to talk about this very briefly, okay? Because there's not much information being given. Kawhi Leonard is under investigation right now for the aspiration scam. In case you guys don't know what the allegation is, basically, Kawhi Leonard was being paid under the table through Steve Ballmer through the aspiration charity who he was sponsored by. It was a company that planted trees, and they were paying Kawhi Leonard under the table for Steve Ballmer. Okay, now the CEO of this charity, I believe he's facing prison time right now. I believe, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's facing his trials. Luke, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Much love. Be sure to join the Discord. Or is he already locked up? I'm not sure. Well, Kawhi is still being investigated. And I don't know what's going to happen out of that. I don't know what's going to come from that. And I'll be honest with y'all. Kawhi Leonard returning to Toronto, it makes sense a lot for both guys. Kawhi, he won in Toronto. He'll be a legend there. He's already a legend there. For the Raptors, you're not going to get good free agents. This is Toronto we're talking about. You have to trade for guys for Toronto. Nobody wants to go there. With all due respect, nobody wants to go to Toronto. The taxes, the income, everything about Toronto, about Canada, it's tough. Nobody wants to sign to Toronto. So they have to go for these big trades. They got to swing for the fences. So it makes sense that they want to go and get Kawhi. And you know what? You bring in Kawhi and you get a point guard, and they're my favorite to come out of the East. Anybody else? I mean, they still don't really have a center, but at least you got CMB, who's a beast, right? But could you imagine a perimeter defense of Kawhi and Scotty Barnes and Jamal Shed? I mean, that's lockdown. That is lockdown. That gets me hard, bro. That gets me rock hard thinking about Kawhi Leonard, Scotty Barnes, Jamal Shed, and CMB, bro. It does. The East is back. If they get Kawhi, the East is back. The East is back. I think this makes sense for both teams. We'll see what happens. But I don't know if it's a real possibility. I think if Kawhi is going to go anywhere, it probably will be Toronto. We'll see. I'm excited. And on top of that, the Clippers, of course, they want to move off Kawhi. He's controversial. He's been caught in some BS. Steve Ballmer just built that brand new sparkly arena, so he probably doesn't want to lose Kawhi. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you guys know this, but Kawhi Leonard does not sell tickets. I don't know if that's a surprise for people who watch basketball. Kawhi Leonard does not sell tickets. Kawhi's play style is boring to the casual fan. Kawhi himself as a person is boring. It's hard to cheer for him. It's hard to cheer for the team. He doesn't sell tickets. So I don't think Steve Ballmer is really hurting over trading him. I guess the trade package for the Clippers was Ingram, Grady, and picks, and that makes sense. The Toronto will not trade CMB. They will inquire about him, but they will not trade CMB. There's no way. You would never do that. You would never do that. And that's all I pretty much have to talk about, guys. We talked about all the recent stuff that were coming out while we've been live. Zach LaVine opted into his $49 million player option for the Kings. James Harden declining his $42 million player option as they work for a new deal, sort of just like how the Wizards just did with Trae Young. We knew that would happen. Fred VanVleet is opting into his $25 million player option for the Rockets. And then I think that's it. Yeah, Fred VanVleet was the only one we didn't talk about, but of course that makes sense. Ron Harper Jr. intends to sign a 3-year, $9 million deal with the Boston Celtics. I think that's a great pickup. He has shown promise. I really like that. Jose Alvarado declined his $4.5 million player option and intends to sign a new 3-year, $14 million plus deal for the New York Knicks. Good for Jose, NBA champion. Really good for him. And I believe with that, we have talked about every single thing that has gone around in the NBA, even Al Horford's old ass. We've talked about it all. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is going to do it for Monday's episode. Now, in case something drastic happens today, I will not see you guys tomorrow. Twitch chat, be sure to stick around after this. But unless something crazy happens today or tomorrow, I will not see you guys tomorrow, which means I will be back Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern for the podcast. I appreciate everybody for tuning in as well. Sorry I got so off topic today. TikTok was pissing me off. I believe free agency opens up on Wednesday, or is it the 3rd? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Is it the 1st or is it the 3rd? It's one or the other. Y'all can let me know. I appreciate everybody for tuning in as always. Twitch chat, be sure to stick around. Okay, so it's tomorrow night. Okay, got it. Thank you. Tomorrow night. Okay, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's all I have for y'all today. Be sure to drop a like, follow, subscribe. Podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. It would really help me more than y'all could ever possibly understand. And Twitch chat, be sure to stick around. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's all I have for y'all today. That's all I got to say, except for thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching/listening. And I'll catch you guys Wednesday morning, unless something happens, at 9 a.m. Eastern. Love y'all and have a blessed rest of your day.